April wakes up and gets ready for her big day. Actually, she waits for this day for a long time ago. It is an audition for ballet dancers in the largest Broadway theaters. But when April goes out on the street, the weather is very bad. However, April is waiting for a taxi and sees an old woman waiting too. Once a taxi comes, April runs quickly to ride it, and the old woman becomes very nervous. After a while, April arrives for the auditions on time. She dances gracefully and beautifully, and passes the audition. But unfortunately, the old woman is the director of the theater. She kicks out April, and tells her she won't work anywhere else, as long as she's still alive. April tries to say sorry, but she falls the director on the ground. The director then falls and gets hurt. After the audition, April talks with her friend Deco. In the meantime, she knows that one person who can give her a job is a director called Welly Wong. April tries to attract him, and decides to dance before him on the street, and gets his attention in any way, but he doesn't care about it. Meanwhile, she makes accidents while dancing. So, April goes home broken and sad. On top of that, she doesn't own the room yet, because she didn't pay the rent. And after all of this, April is completely over. She then talks to her father while she is crying, and her father tells her to go home. In these troubled times, April returns to the small town where she left to be a star. While shopping, she meets her friend Barb, who is opening a ballet studio. She tells April to come and meet the girls there. And in the studio, Barb offers her to train the girls. Especially, there is a big competition they want to take part in. But when April meets the girls, she becomes very arrogant. She tells them that they don't know how to dance and are losers. On top of that, she tells them to forget their dream, and that they won't even be big stars. April then says that they don't have a chance to win. Meanwhile, the girls become very annoyed, and they're crying. When April leaves the studio, she meets her ex-boyfriend Nick, and he is waiting for his sister Sarah, who is training inside. At that moment, they recover their memories and the details of their breakup, but they forgive each other, and forget the past. Then April goes home with her father. While April is walking with him by car, she notices that Welly Wong is the referee of the final competition, and she wants to work with him. She quickly returns to the studio, and decides to train girls. They take part in a competition, until they reach the finals as well. At this time, it's the first day of the finals competition. The first step is the province competition, and the top 3 winning teams will qualify for the next competition. Meanwhile, each band shows its skills, and everyone represents a great performance. It's the time for April band to show their dance, but they make a bad performance, and they don't dance together. On top of that, the audience makes fun of them. Even when April dances with them, she wants to be the star dancer. And in fact, she is very arrogant and doesn't want anyone else to dance. The results of the competition announce, and they're the 4th. And this time, April is hopeless and loses her dream. When April goes to the studio, she meets Barb, and tells her that they're the 3rd, because a group of them are cheaters. April is very happy, and the whole team gathers the next day in the studio. They only have 2 weeks left until the next competition. Meanwhile, April trains the girls nervously. She gives them orders and shouts at them. After the end of the day, and the time was late, none of them dances with the other. April talks with them badly and nervously, until Sarah tells her that she is a bad teacher, and says that April doesn't know how to deal with them. After these words, April is so nervous that she leaves them and walks away. But before she walks away, she sees that Barb trained them in a nice and different way. On top of that, Barb trains them very well. And then, she knows that she was really wrong. April then knows that she should treat them like they are children. During running in the area, April takes care of Sarah while she is training, and notices that Sarah does a good dance, but she needs some training. April goes to talk to her, and says sorry for what happened. On the same day, Nick meets April in the garden, and he tells her that Sarah looks like her. The next day, April returns to the studio, and apologizes to the girls. They are still very afraid of her, and don't want her to train them. But Sarah convinces them to agree, because April is the only one who can help them to reach the finals. The next day, they start training in a different way. In that moment, she tries with them step by step, until they are able to dance together. There is a little boy watching the training, and he is very happy. The girls train in their homes, and in every place to become better dancers. One day it is raining, but they complete training, with more difficult exercises than the first. At the same time, their families watch them, and the team succeeds for the first time, making a good show. They are very happy with the result they reach. But unfortunately, part of the studio ceiling falls due to the rain, and the training stops. But they go outside and play in this rainy weather, and they are so happy. April tries to train on the farm by herself, but Nick comes to her and sees her dancing gracefully. Then, they talk together. After all of this, she knows that after their breakup, Nick is still in love with her, and he went to New York for her. But when he saw her, he decided that he would let her live her dream. While the team is training in the soccer stadium, the soccer team stays there and make fun of the girls. On top of that, the soccer team tells the girls they can't do the exercises they do. The girls challenge them, and they put the soccer team in a ridiculous situation. After a while, the girls take the bus to go to the second county finals competition. They wear their clothes, do their hair, and prepare for the dance. At the beginning of the competition, two young girls are dancing. They are afraid of the public, but the little boy who was watching them dances with them, and they do an amazing dance. At this time, the public and referees are happy with their dance, and they take rewards for every step of their way to the final. April is very happy with their success, and they win in the final training show in America. They then reach the finals competition, and while they're on stage, girls from the competing teams know about the accident that April made with the director. At this moment, they make fun of her, and when the dance begins, she makes a small dance and falls to the ground. But one of the girls dances with her as part of the dance, and they actively dance. During the dance, the audience supports them until they finish. But they don't expect success, and pray to become of the three that will win. And they become the second. But they don't believe what they hear, and they think that the broadcaster is wrong. When he says this once again, they become so happy and hug each other. After that, they qualify for the competition of All America, and they will dance before Welly Wong. Meantime, Barb tells April bad news. She says that they need a lot of money to go to the competition, and the second misfortune is that they want clothes for the competition. But then, April thinks and gets an idea. She tells her friend Deco to design clothes for the girls, and fortunately, lots of people come from the city to donate money and clothes to the band. Literally, they support them, and really succeed in collecting all the money they need. After a while, April tries to train the little kids to do a really tricky dance. But the little boy can't hold the girl, and they fall to the ground. This dance is so difficult, and they'll do it at the end of the dance. But the little boy keeps falling with the girl. April lets Sarah do this dance to show them how it is done. But something happens to Sarah, and she goes out crying. In the same time, April runs to her and hugs her. It is the final competition, and the referees will attend. The teams begin to dance, and show off their skills. Meanwhile, the teams are doing very well, but April's team is afraid of this competition. Later, it's time for her team, but the little boy's hand is painful, and he can't hold the girl and make the required dance. In spite of this, he comes out and they dance well. At this moment, people are very happy with their dance. Until the time for this dance comes, the girl decides to hold the little boy, and they both do dance very well. After the dance, people are fascinated by them, and they support the team. But when April's turn comes, she becomes very nervous and afraid. Nick encourages her, but she is afraid to lose her team. Then, April starts her dance in a different way from their team. She dances a beautiful romantic dance with the girls, and they make dance in a perfect way. The referees are so impressed and they support them. Also, the audience is very happy with the strong show. While they celebrate their success, Welly Wong comes and tells April to be a champion in his play. She gets very happy because her dream becomes true. She then takes her bag and walks. But Sarah stops her, because she can't believe that she'll leave them so easily before the competition. April must go and leave Sarah, while she is crying and hurt. Also, her brother Nick gets upset. After a while, April takes the champion of the play, but she keeps thinking all day about what she did, and whether this is right or not. So, she speaks to her father while she is very sad. Her father tells her to choose what will be with her all of his life. Either she achieves her dream, which she dreamed of all her life, or she goes back to the girls and wins the competition. The next day, April decides to go back to the girls. So, she tells Welly Wong what she wants to do, and if he wants to kick her out, no problem. But girls are more important to her than herself, and she loves them very much. Then, she rides with her friend, and they go quickly to the competition. Fortunately, she meets the girls at the last moment before they go on stage. She keeps motivating them, and telling them how much she trusts them, and tells them they are her family now. At this time, they all go out to the stage, and show their very impressive dance while they're happy. After the dance, Nick confesses to April that he loves her. After a while, April shows on the Broadway stage, and the audience is very happy with the play. After the show ends, April finds the girls and her entire city there to celebrate her. They're happy and dance together in the streets, after the success of the girls and April. Thanks for watching, take care and see you in the next video.
All this money, money.